Gaming has changed a lot over the last 10 to 15 years. It used to be simple, buy a game and unlock things by playing. Now many games revolve around microtransactions, battle passes, and live services. Some of these systems work well, but others feel like they hurt the experience. The industry is shifting and players are starting to push back. First of all, microtransactions took over gaming. Microtransactions were originally a small optional purchase. I remember back in the day when I was playing games and I was a kid, there were barely any microtransactions. You just bought the game and then what you got is what you got. Things like cosmetic skins and bonus content, they were unlockables in games. They weren't purchasables, but over time they became a core part of many games' business models. Like some games that have heavy monetization are any live service games, or even some fighting games are like Mortal Kombat 1. That game had a heavy monetization business model, and the thing is, you have expensive skins, rotating premium shops, and cosmetics locked behind premium currency. Players feel like content is being cut and resold. Like some stuff should be in the game with your purchase, but now it feels like the developers hold back and keep that progress, whatever it is, skin or level or whatever, and then they resell to you as a premium skin or a DLC that should have been part of the main game, and it's not acceptable. Players need to fight back. Another prime example of a game getting severe backlash because of its DLC content is Diablo 4. And Diablo used to be a premier prime RPG that was loved by many, but now it pivoted towards a premium live service model that felt like seasonal paid battle passes. They were predatory, and some pushing cosmetics over in-game achievements, and it's like they just want to take, and they're not focusing on the fun of the player. And that's just one example of many throughout gaming history. Alright, fine, we have microtransactions, we have skins, we have $20 skins, and they're excessive. Fine, it can't get any worse, right? Wrong! We have battle passes that change progression. Instead of unlocking items naturally, many games now use battle passes. Players grind tiers to unlock cosmetics, and that replaced like a natural progression system. Obviously, some games still have these natural progression system where you could unlock stuff, at a reasonable pace without having to pay anything, and you just sort of like level up and work your way to the top and unlock stuff. Well, most games now, especially live service games and some paid games, which is unacceptable, they have battle passes that replace the natural progression system. Or sometimes they do have a natural progression system, but it's severely weak compared to the battle pass. And what it does is it creates a fear of missing out. Players feel pressure to grind before the season ends. And if you played any live service game with a battle pass and you were like super into it, whether that was like Fortnite, Apex, Marvel Rivals, anything, if you were into it and you really wanted a skin and it was at the end of the battle pass, you either had to grind until you got to the end of the battle pass to get that skin, or you could just pay them $100 to buy the currency to purchase tiers for the skin. You see, no matter what, it's just that the game devs are getting the benefit of it. They're either going to get your hours in, doing repetitive challenges. Sometimes these challenges could be fun. If you're into the game, you'll naturally get it. But it's still scummy locking them behind, premium battle passes. But, if you don't have a lot of time and you still want a cool skin, you're going to have to pay for it. Especially in a super grindy game, you're going to have to pay for it. And that's scummy, especially at prices like, sometimes it's even like $100 just to get to the end of the battle pass, and then buying a regular skin on the shop, that's like $20, $25, and that's unacceptable. I mean, you could flex, yeah man, I got a $20 skin, man, it looks so cool, bro, it looks so hot, you know how the devs try to make them like Gooner skins, but no, it's still unacceptable. These are just skins, these are cosmetics, they should not be $20. I say $10 max for a skin. And a prime example of that is the Marvel Rivals community. They feed into these microtransactions like crazy, and the devs know it. They know it so much. They even make skins that are gender swaps. They gender swapped Loki, made female Loki with, a big back, and then they sold it, and people bought it. They were like, this is so cool, this is Lady Loki, it's a cool skin. But the thing is, the devs know that, and they know what they're doing. The Marvel Rivals player stereotype, think of that. What do you think of when you think of a Marvel Rivals player? I play Marvel Rivals, I'm not like that, but the community has a stereotype of being gooners, and that is because the community endlessly feeds into these Gooner skins, buying $20 skins just because they're showing some skin. You know what I mean? And it's just not right. I mean, they could make a skin like that, right? But players buy it, and we buy it, so we're feeding the problem. And they're just gonna continue making $20 skins, $20 skins, $20 skins until we stop buying them. And the thing is, they know that we buy these Gooner skins. They know that the community loves them, so they're gonna keep putting them out because that's what makes them the most money. And when you're looking at games as a whole, live service games dominate the industry. Many game companies now want games to last years instead of months, and this means constant updates, seasons, and monetizations. And this is why it works, because as a player, you're gonna get bored if a game is just the same over and over and over and over again. But with live service games, you have huge consistent updates, events and collaborations, and constant fresh content. However, this means that games often launch incomplete and developers promising updates later, which means that you're not getting the full package. And most popular games I should say, do live service well, like Fortnite. You could say Apex Legends, Marvel Rivals, to an extent, hate me or not. Overwatch, they're successful. You could hate on Overwatch all you want, they're successful. But the thing is, it's become such a trend and such a moneymaker for developers that every single dev wants to be a live service game. So they're changing the whole dynamics of their franchise to make a live service game. You could see examples like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, where that game they were the Arkham devs, you know, and those were renowned games. They were very good, but then they pivoted Suicide Squad to be a live service game, and it just didn't resonate with players. There were other game companies that thought they could make a live service game and just pivot towards it, and they just fail immediately, often losing lots and lots of money. Games like Concord, games like Highguard, games like Anthem, they are all live service games that just go down in the dust because players just don't resonate with it and they stick to whatever they like and not these live service games. And the thing is, it's hurting the game industry more than it benefits it. Game development now is more expensive than ever, often costing millions and millions of dollars. So studios need ways to make money after launch, and the solution in their eyes is microtransactions and battle passes. But the problem is when games feel designed around monetization instead of fun, and players feel that, you know, when they have a game that pushes and pushes and pushes all these purchases in your face, you're gonna feel overwhelmed. And I'm like, I just want to play the game and I want to be having fun. The thing is, you could monetize your game. I understand developers need to make money after the game's launch and even after the initial game sale. And yes, you could have monetization in your game like microtransactions, but please keep it at a minimum so players don't feel overwhelmed. And a lot of devs think microtransactions is the only way to make money. And no, despite the problems, modern gaming also had some incredible successes. Take a look at games like Baldur's Gate, games like Elden Ring. People love it because there's no microtransactions, there's a huge amount of content, and it shows players still support complete games. They're massive and there's no live service monetization. Baldur's Gate, you could say it was a little bit when they were adding these DLC updates, but community updates, but there was no monetization. And these games prove that players still reward quality. So I believe the biggest issue isn't microtransactions themselves. It's when they become too aggressive or replace real progression. When they're done right, they are optional cosmetics, no pay to win, and they support continued development of the game. And when they're done wrong, they are paywalls, they're cut content being resold later, and they're grind designed to push purchases. So gaming isn't dying, but it is changing. Microtransactions and live service models are now everywhere, and some developers use them responsibly, others just push them too far. But recent success stories show that players still support games that respect their time and money, and enough players push back, the industry might find a better balance. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you like this video, please comment, subscribe, let me know what your favorite live service game is, if you have any. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Mr. Frosty Flames out.